So if you're leading your horse along, heading somewhere, and the question I get a lot, people say, what if they stop? Like, Chance tends to stop here and have a look around. Okay, what do you do if they stop? I'll just stop and I'll look at whatever they're looking at. So someone's out in the arena catching horses right now, so Chancey's looking over there. So I'm just going to look over there. And the thing is, see how he's fixated? See that ear just flicked? So he's not as fixated as he was. But if his focus stayed like that, I wouldn't try to interrupt him. Okay? But if you would just watch him for a minute, he's still fixated, he's still fixated. Now, but see that other ear's flicking? So he's not, and they see he just blinked and lowered his head a little bit. He started to breathe a little deeper right then. See that other ear's flicking? So he's less fixated. So what I wouldn't do is ask the horse to move while they're fixated. Okay? And this comes down to, there you go, he just changed focus right there. This comes down to reading the room. It's like, let's say you're with somebody and, I don't know, let's say you're scared of snakes, and let's say you got in your car, okay? You get in the passenger seat of a car, someone gets in the driver's seat, you get in the passenger seat and you look down and there's a snake curled up on the floor between your legs, okay? And you're like, oh. And the person in the driver's seat knows there's a snake on the floor between your legs, and he's like, hey, look at that interesting car across the street or something. He's trying to interrupt you when you are interruptible. That would probably give you the impression that he does not understand the severity of this situation right here. So for me, it's kind of the same with these horses. You might notice right now, like his ears aren't as pricked. He's kind of looking around, okay? But he's not as fixated like he was. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to walk forward right here, and he's just going to toot along behind me. He's now, his thoughts were interruptible right there. And I think choosing when to interrupt a horse's thoughts, when they're interruptible and when they're not interruptible, does a lot for your relationship. And that all adds up to things that, make them aware whether you're capable of making really good decisions or not as good decisions. And trying to redirect the focus of a horse whose focus is not redirectable at the time just tells them that you're not aware of their emotional state at the time, which leads to less trust later on when you are, doing other things with them. So just some thoughts on when a horse stops. And I'll do the same thing riding them too. If I'm out in the trail and they see something, I'll stop and let them look at it, and I won't ask them to go until they are able to be, until they're able to be asked to go, if that makes sense. I was riding up this trail here on Chance's third day outside riding, and as we topped this rise here, he stopped and had a look around, and he was really fixated at the start. Now you can see he's less fixated. So I have a lot of people ask, like, when your horse stops and pauses, what do you do? So I let him stop and sit for as long as they want to stop and sit until, like, right there. See, his focus just changed. So I could ask him to walk on now, and he's just going to go for a walk up the hill. I can see some deer up in front of us. They're probably going to jump out in front of us. But if they stop and look at something, I'm not going to say go right now, because right then they're in a little bit of an emotional state. And so I will let them sit there until their focus starts to change, until their ears soften. They might look at something different rather than fixated on that one thing. And usually then that's when I'll ask them to go forward after that.